Man, cars outside with Joseph in here, my movie star buddy.
Good.
You've been in Savannah. That's a long drive, ain't it?
Yeah, it's about 6.5 hours, something like that. Yeah.
So what are you shooting in Savannah?
It's a movie set in the 1800s, early 1800s. Story of a true story based on a slave that turned to a preacher, and he was instrumental in trying to keep. Let's say I have a plantation and I have 40 slaves. Well,
Right.
I would bring him in to preach to my slaves and make them understand a little bit better whatever, what's going on. It's a great story, but he eventually gets abused and stands up for himself and takes over.
Now, are you the plantation owner?
One of them, yeah.
We got some photos I think you sent us. There you are,
Yeah.
right there. Now,
Yeah.
tell us about makeup and something like that. Nice hairdo.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it took a little doing. So I had I kept the beard, and I wanted to know if they wanted to keep it, and they said, yeah, they would claim it. So they wanted to claim the
Act
beard.
like
So you're growing the beard for something else.
Well, for that Civil War movie that I did before this one.
Okay.
So, and I was going to shave it, and I said, well, I got it. I better ask you.
Now, do you have to get fitted for that costume?
Yeah, and that thing fit me like a glove. Everything on there was perfect. That was unusual, but yeah, it was. The costumer did a very good job on that one. Of course,
That looks good.
you're dealing in 1809, so it's.
Is the dialect basically the same? Or?
It is.
Now
it
look
is.
at that. Doesn't that look so
Now, that's
true to character?
Confederate deal there.
Yeah, that's Josephine. That's the
Josephine?
movie we shot up in Virginia. A good little story of Civil War story.
And that suit smelled so good.
Yeah, it was rough. That was a rough shoot. But it added to it. That's old Barry Corbin.
listen.
Now, he was in Lonesome Dove.
Lonesome Dove and Northern Exposure, and Barry's been in so many things. He's a good old guy. We it's the second film I've done with him, and we just laughed that day. Man, he's a good old guy. I can't tell you some of the stories he told.
So when you shoot these things, Dan, are you crossing paths with some people you've worked with before?
Yeah, it's become that way now. I'm 20 years into it, and with that movie, Barry and I were working right there. That's the 5th movie I've done for that director.
You said you were taking ticks off of you.
Oh yeah, tick check.
Nice hair. What are you trying to do? Outdo me?
Well, yeah. Now that's before she curled it and said, "All right, I want to let it set, and then I want you to go to lunch and come back, and I'll comb it out." And so I had to go to lunch looking like that.
When you do a piece like anything like that, how long does it take basically to get ready before you come in front of the camera?
Sometimes, depending on what it is, that one was pretty basic. The hair was the most. I would say 30 minutes, maybe, something like that. Now, on The Walking Dead, when I did the episode of Walking Dead, that took a little bit longer, and I had to go different phases of makeup. I played a regular human being and then turned to a zombie, and so it was a little bit different that way.
When you're out there with some of these big dogs and you're doing things, did this ever dawn on you that you're just a guy from Huntsville, Alabama, and here you are hanging out, living a lifelong dream?
It used to kind of get next to me. You get a little complex about it, and then all of a sudden you get used to it. But my dad gave me some very, very good advice when I started this, and I'll paraphrase, but he says they put their pants on just like you do. So, and he's right. And they are our work associates. They're companions, just like you go to an office and work with your coworkers. That's what they are, and it's once you make it to the set, you're invited. You're supposed to be there, and that's how you got to act. You've got to know.
So I guess the more you do it, the more comfortable you become doing parts like that.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot more comfortable. To be honest with you, when you get with folks like that, and Reese Witherspoon and Barry Corbin and whoever, the thing you don't talk about is movie making. You talk about everything else, but where you from, and what how old are your children, blah blah blah. You talk about you own horses, da da da. It's just everything but boy, I loved you, and so and so so and so. You don't do that. It's kind of taboo.
Yeah, I guess so. It would be like that.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with the Quantum Leap that used to be on TV?
Yeah.
I just saw that Cozy is having a Quantum Leap Monday on Memorial Day all day long.
Okay. Yeah.
Quantum Leap. I'm not familiar with that show. You
It's where
said
you
watched
jump into time.
That's the guy that's now with Lucas Black down in New Orleans, in CSI New Orleans, I believe.
Nick Saban just had a picture taken with Lucas Black.
Lucas.
I think it was yesterday.
Yeah.
Didn't we show that yesterday? I had Lucas
It's
Black
been
and
all
Nick
over
Saban
Facebook.
golfing together.
Yeah, Lucas is a good golfer. Really
Yeah,
good.
he is from Speak Out. Didn't you work with your first movie?
I've worked 2 times with Lucas, yeah. We did a movie called
40.
Get Low with Robert Duvall, and then 42.
Yeah, 42. Yeah.
Yeah. 42. He had just had his baby girl, and I think she was 6 months old, and I remember asking him, I said, how do you like being a daddy? And he said, we're going to have 10 more. That's what he said. You may
10
want to check
more.
with your wife on that first.
Speak, Alabama.
Yeah, he's
so what's
happy.
your next, you got to go back to Savannah?
Got to go back to Savannah and finish this one. I'm home for 6 days, and then we go back and finish this.
All right, Dusty's going to be with us tomorrow. I don't know if you'll be able to make it tomorrow back, but you're certainly always welcome. He just flew to Dallas and to see the movie. You haven't even seen yet.
Not yet, no.
He said it was one of the best Christian movies he's ever seen.
I can imagine. That was a really strong script. It's powerful, Jamie. This movie is... A lot of the folks that go see this movie aren't going to realize it's a Christian film until about halfway through.
Really?
Yeah.
So faith did play a big part in that Tony Nathan movie.
Oh, yeah. That's the key to the lock right there. Yeah. It's strong. It's really, really powerful. I know what Dusty saw. I know what
20 years you've been in movies, from Will Ferrell to all these others. What is the one thing, just being a regular old country boy, or not country boy, but city boy from Alabama, that you can take away from being them in the movies?
Well, it's like I've told you. It's kind of like track. We ran track in college,
right?
And you're on your own.
For a white boy, you was fast.
Well, I'm blessed with some speed, but it's you're
Humble all the time.
You're on your own. You don't have a line blocking for you. You don't have a quarterback throwing the ball to. You're on your own out here. Now the agent gets you the door, but you got to get your foot in it. And you got to go get that part. It's all up here. And I'm kind of proud of that, because nobody ever heard me say I want to be an actor when I grew up, and it worked out. Yeah.
Well, I always wanted to be on television.
Well, here you are.
There you are right there. No, that's Dusty.
That's Caleb.
Hey, by the way, well, thank you for coming to church with us again down at Lindsay Lane, sitting up front with us this past Sunday morning.
Yeah.
All right, man, if you can make it back tomorrow, we'd love to have you. If not, see you in the next movie. See you when you get back from Savannah.
See you in
All right, we got to take a break for the day. We'll see y'all bright and early tomorrow. I got to go.
Bye.